Hello and welcome to this jiggly video. There's a lot of weird things happen in life, and so I got a hateful comment came in, quite a nasty one, and I was sort of like, "Hey, welcome to the channel," and it was sort of like I'll admit it's bothered me, but I went, why argue with somebody like that? I haven't blocked MD for ages, but I blocked this guy, right? It was really hateful. It was like horrible. It wasn't even anything to do with the video in question. I saw the cat's eyes here, so I went and blocked him. And I think that. So what you do, you can have a bit of come and go with people, but if somebody's going to stoop to the completely hateful comments, you know, you need to just block them, and they can carry on hating. Like, he hates me, right? So he can carry on hating me at his leisure, but I don't want nothing to do with it, sort of thing. That's really how it is. And he can find somebody else to hate. There's another thing. That's how it works. Go and find somebody else, you know. Somebody. So like, it's all a bit weird, but that's just the way. To be fair, I mean, sometimes I'll say things that are maybe intellectually superior to some of them, so they're not going to like it. So that's when they get hateful, because they can't really articulate themselves very well. So they'll come away, they can't articulate themselves. They cannot. So a lot of people are unhappy, and they just want to share their unhappiness and their toxic shame, childhood trauma. They just want to hand it over to a complete stranger, and that's why they do it. So that's fine. So I can have a wee moan about it, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour. I could spend the whole video talking about it, but the next time, totally forgotten about it, and they'll still be stuck with their toxic shame and their childhood trauma, and try to share it out with me, and that's the way it goes. So we've been talking about 20 zones with this other guy. He's just not really making any sense. He just doesn't seem to believe me. If you want to take me on about 20 zones, well, the reality is that I am right, which is that they're not legally enforceable in Scotland. And the reason that I am insisting that I'm right is because there has been no evidence presented to me in the contrary. So that's why I hold that position. So I'm not holding that position because I've started holding it or something, and I'm refusing to back down from it. I'm holding that position because I believe it. Well, I'm 100% certain that is the truth. That 20 zones are not legally enforceable in Scotland. And why do I think that? Well, because it's quite simple. There's sort of 3 elements to it. The Audi 80 is that Police Scotland are refusing to clarify the matter under Freedom of Information request. I didn't send the request, somebody else did. Police Scotland are refusing to clarify. They gave some reasons or excuses, you would call them that. So if they're not going to clarify, that's suspicious, isn't it? Like, why won't they clarify? Surely that would be in their interest to clarify that. So you want to know the truth? Yeah, sure, 20 zones we're going to bust you for that. But they're not saying that. And if you read the posts on Facebook and everything that Police Scotland put out, they're written in a surreptitious manner, so they don't actually say they're going to prosecute. They might say they'll prosecute you in a 20 zone, but it won't be for speeding. It could be for careless driving, or it could be for speeding over 30. So that's one thing. So Police Scotland are refusing to clarify. So the other thing is, you could go and find a person, man or woman, who's been done for speeding between 20 and 30 miles per hour in a 20 zone in Scotland. And I don't know, how did they show you the letter? they can blank out their address, and they can show you the letter that shows them being fined in that 20 zone. So that would be easy. You would just go on the internet, there'd be people putting, that would be easy to find. But the reason you can't find that is because nobody's been prosecuted. So the third way would be to get into the legislation and show the legislation in force. Right, now, so what you could say, well, what are you talking about? So, well, in 2019 the Scottish Government put a bill through and it fell. So that's what they call it, it fell, meaning it failed. So then you say, oh well, that was 2019. So you say, have they done it again? And the answer is, no, they haven't, right? So then you go, oh well, they've just put it in then. So why did they put a bill to the Scottish Parliament in 2019 if they can just put it in? So you're not being sensible at all. You're not putting this a purposeful argument. You're just being stupid like a little girl or boy saying, because you don't want to lose the argument. So basically, the Scottish Government have not put the bill through again since 2019. Therefore, 20 zones are not legally enforceable. Right? That's a fact. Right? So this guy's arguing with me, and he's going by the signs. So he produced evidence that signs are legally. So basically, what he's saying is the sign. So the sign is round and it's got a red marker around it. So that's legally binding. So what he's not understanding, or I don't know if he does or not, that's like the sign has to be a specific shape, and it has to be, so like you and I, or a farmer for example, we can go and put you could put a sign up here like fresh eggs or something, right? That doesn't mean it's legally binding, does it? It's just a sign. So he seems to think that because they put the signs up, so what he's saying means that 20 zones, you don't need an act of parliament. All you need to do is put a sign up. So I says, well, if I put a sign up around your bike saying it's not yours, that means it's not yours then. Is that what you believe? And he's like, he's just being fucking belligerent. He's losing, and he doesn't. So this guy's not going to back down. I mean, he hasn't got really hateful so far. I mean, if he does, I'll have to block him. But I don't really like blocking people. It kind of spoils things. So that's really it. I mean, the 20 zones. So he's saying I'm talking not. So he's saying that all the things that I've said, because I've written them down, is nonsense. So he hasn't said why they're nonsense. So you could comment on this video and say, if you think it's nonsense, can you please write down, type in the comments why what I'm saying that's wrong, and explain it. And he's not done that. And the reason he's not done that is because he can't. Because it's not nonsense. So you can't just say something's nonsense without, coming up with some kind of. So a lot of people, what they do, I've had these discussions over the last couple of years, 3-4 years. They actually start attacking me rather than my argument, because they can't attack my argument, so they start saying, oh, you're this or that or the other or something. It's a common one on Facebook where they start attacking your spelling. That's why I have that's not why I have spell check. But I realised, you're better to try not to have mistakes in your spelling and grammar, too much. It's like pedantic behaviour. So you get people having a magnifying glass over your spelling. That's how they get back at you. It's but really, it doesn't. So that's just presenting your argument in the best. It doesn't have to be perfect, but present it in a reasonably understandable manner that it can be written. Right. So let's on to. So the hate crime guy that I blocked, he's saying a lot of stuff about me being a man and stuff and all that type of thing. And he was going on about the High Court. The problem he's got is he thinks he can be hateful because of a High Court judgment. The High Court judgment in the High Court, to say that a woman is a biological female, it hasn't changed the hate crime laws. so the transgender people are protected in the Equality Act. And it hasn't changed any of that. And if you watch the judgment and the guy reading it out, he categorically sat there and said, this is not a win for each side or the other side. And yet these lot just totally ignored that. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. We'll get you in the next video. Bye.